for this session in particular.
It's a title card.
It's a title card. You get the first original title card in 4 months. uh, let's see. Where's Mark? Send it just to you. Okay. That's not what I meant to do. Okay. Hello. Are you here to help me DM? No? Okay, no. He's just hungry. Okay.
Well, that's a thing.
Yep. So, your
Oh.
third, technically, solo session is entitled The Fall of the Sword. And in line with that title, we are going to backtrack a bit to the moment just before your untimely death, or at least to the moment before you went unconscious, your untimely unconsciousness. So if you're ready to begin, I think we will begin. I've
Let's
realized
do it.
I'm not ready to begin. Let me get at least these dice out. Okay, yeah. So we're going to backtrack a little bit to that.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been about to die?
All the time. Oh, it's a 4! I just had a forking stroke.
Excuse me.
That was a triangle with like a weird top. Okay, that makes sense. What strange rune is this on my D20? Like,
What is this strange language?
If you remind me afterwards, I'll send you a picture of what it looked like. Okay, that was weird. Anyways,
Probably looked like a 4.
it did kind of look like a 4, but it was like turned in such a way that it messed with my brain. Anyway, yes. So we're backtracking from the last session to where you are about to go unconscious. So you are standing in that hallway, facing down that brutish Gilder, watching in slow time as he raises his blade to deal the final blow. You turn to the doctor and tell him to run to save himself, and then you turn back to your attacker one final time.
And then at this moment, Ren knew. He fucked up.
He fucked up. His sword falls downwards, and you flinch, anticipating the bite of that blade, and at last it connects with your torso. This is where things get complicated. As the blade makes contact, it does not cut into you as you might imagine. Instead, it shatters into a million pieces, starting first at the point of impact on your chest, then traveling down towards the handle, then up the Gilder's arm, through his feet, along the muddy floor to the walls, and in the blink of an eye, the entire hallway kind of cracks and explodes into glass all around you, as if it were, well, made of glass. In doing so, the floor essentially explodes beneath your feet, and you're now falling. So you fall. This is
Yes,
you're falling. Oh, I wasn't asking. You're falling.
Oh, I know. Oh, believe me. I get it.
Yeah, you're falling. Kind of reminiscent of that very first dream you had towards the end of that, actually. But you're falling until you finally hit what feels and sounds like, as you crash through it, a large pane of glass. You hit it with your back. You punch through that. You can hear it shatter around you. And that's actually the last thing you hear before you impact on a much more, we'll call it dense surface that feels much more like the ground. And you are just unquestionably knocked unconscious. So everything goes black. And in your unconsciousness, it's hard to say that you are conscious, but I want to think that you are sort of aware, kind of in the midst of this just kind of oppressing darkness, if that makes sense.
Am I in pain?
Not in pain, but you're aware of yourself, but you're not It's kind of like I like to. I've never been in one of these, but I imagine it's like floating in one of those like dark enclosed like pool things. You're
Yeah,
just kind of yeah, yeah. Do you know what it's
sensory
called?
deprivation,
Yeah,
sensory deprivation chamber.
one of those. I like to imagine it's kind of that. Once you hit this ground and you kind of feel the wind get pushed out of you, and you hear that glass kind of breaking, and then you're just like out. But you're aware of yourself, but you're not like standing or sitting. You're not even sure you're floating, but you're just kind of present in this very oppressive darkness. And yeah.
Um, I relax, I suppose.
Okay, yeah. I mean it's kind of weird like you consciously try to relax and it's just like you feel relaxed, but it's not too much of a change from what's going on.
Are my eyes open?
Huh? You don't know. You can't see anything.
I consciously, I consciously try to close them and open them.
Hmm, nothing really
Like,
happens.
I don't really feel blinking.
No.
Huh. Can I try to lift my arm?
Yeah, I mean it's like you feel like you might be lifting your arm, but you can't see it.
Can I touch my chest?
You kind of move in to touch your chest, and there's just this very numb feeling. Have you ever like a leg has your leg ever fallen asleep?
I've had surgeries where like areas were numb for a very
Yeah,
long time.
like
So,
yeah, so like it's numb and like say if your leg falls asleep and you try to stand on it, you're standing on your leg, but it's like you can't feel it. It's really really weird.
mhm.
It's kind of like that. Like you think, well, maybe I'm touching my chest. I might be like touching my face. I don't know. I'm touching something, and it's just like this
Something
numb,
untouched.
very numb, kind of honestly kind of empty feeling.
Um,
And yeah. Anything else?
I try to speak. I just go, hello?
That actually works. You hear your own voice, kind of reach out into this darkness, and nothing happens for several seconds. But I imagine maybe as you're kind of consciously thinking about calling out again. You don't hear something, but you feel a presence kind of around you, like kind of in front of you. It's kind of similar to like the numbness feeling. Like you don't see anything, you don't feel something touching you, but you just kind of feel like there's a presence near you, like it's
Hello
approached
there?
you.
Where, where are we? Who are you?
No response.
Are you even there? Am I even there?
You feel this presence, and this is difficult to describe, but I'm hoping you can kind of empathize with the feeling, if that makes sense. You almost feel like a hand is being extended towards you. Like it's just this feeling of like a beckoning sort of feeling.
Well, I've done weirder shit. I try to grab for the hand.
You
The
reach for the
hand that I
hand.
the hand
Yeah,
the intention of hand.
yeah, the intention of hand. I mean, you kind of reach out, um, maybe with your hand. You don't really know, but you definitely kind of mentally or emotionally, physically mime the expression of taking a hand, and as your hand kind of makes its way through this strange space, um, kind of off in the distance, right as you're about to kind of make contact, you think, you just hear very, very briefly the flapping of heavy wings in the distance, and then you touch this hand, and just with quite a start, you open your eyes.
Okay. What do I see?
It kind of takes you a second. You have to like kind of blink,
Yeah, I'm
focus your eyes,
focusing.
and you're laying down, and what feels to be some sort of bed, and you're looking at a wooden roof with beams, kind of like a longer room.
Oh, oh, good. I was saved somehow.
You
All
look to
right.
your like left, you kind of look at more than just the ceiling,
Yeah, I
and
look left and right.
you appear to be, well, I'll describe the room and I'll let you form your own impressions, but it should be somewhat obvious. You're kind of in a room that's just lined with beds, like lots of beds. There's several, probably like three or four on the side of the room you're on, and across from you, there's about three or four on the other side, on the other wall opposite you, all lined up very neatly.
Hmm.
There's probably there's like a someone kind of under covers with a few bandages on them on the bed, not kind of like one. Oh my gosh, the term just went out of my head. Like not the one next to you, but the one next to that one. So you got a bed between you, and then there's a person in that one, and then across from you, there's a person in the bed opposite you. They're kind of shrouded, though you can't necessarily see what they're wearing. But
Am I wearing bandages?
no, you're wearing your thieves guild armor, and it's received all of the damage it had received before the final blow. So you've got cuts and nicks, and the armor's kind of cut up, and some of those have been dressed, but none of them were horrifically serious. Not nearly as serious as the one you anticipated, but as you notice and think about this, have not
Yeah,
received. There's no
yeah. I'm
according
like,
to the
oh,
yeah
wait.
according to the trajectory of the blade, where it was going to hit. No, it's right across your chest. It's the armor's fine. You're not bleeding. There's no bandages.
Oh, I'm cooler than I thought I was.
Rin's like, oh fuck yeah.
It's like, Ren's just like happy. He's like, I didn't get cut. He sucks at aiming. And then I fainted. Alright.
I mean,
And I'm
that's
in a
exactly what
hospital.
happened.
Alright, well, I guess let's figure out where. Is the slums? This seems really nice for the slums.
It does look really nice for the slums. Because, well, for one, it's like wood, nice
I was
wood.
about
It's
to
not
say,
rotting
I was about to
wood.
say, I haven't seen a hole.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like rotting wood, or like wood encompassed by like a tent, or a tent in wood. Like, yeah, it is nice for the woods. You are on the you're on the bed. This just escaped my mind. I saw it in my head. You're on the bed farthest towards the end of the room, opposite the door. So if you walked in the door,
Uh-huh.
look to your right. That wall. There's four beds. You're on the last bed on the right,
Oh, okay.
and there's a window in the middle of the wall.
Ah, I will go to the window.
Yeah. So you stand up and feel fine. You feel
Okay,
like you've
do I feel legs?
yeah, yeah. I mean, you
Oh,
feel
huh.
legs. Like you're in a room walking on your own two legs. Yay. It's a boy.
I
Yeah,
did it.
it's really not all that odd. I mean, you're walking. Some
That's
of
a
those
hell of a
cuts.
dream.
Oh my god, that cat is a nuisance. Sorry, this kitten is trying to break things. Okay, or you, yeah. I mean, you feel a little sore, um, especially standing up on your back, the back of your head.
Hmm.
You feel like you fell on your back really hard, but you can move around. It's really just soreness around the cuts. It's that kind of tender feeling around a like a bandaged or treated cut on some of the other cuts he gave you before that final blow. But yeah, you can move around relatively pain free.
And I saunter my way to the window.
Okay. You are looking at what appears to be a Blackbriar street. You don't recognize the street, but the proximity of the buildings, the mud, the general crowd moving in and out. You see a few people in that dark leather armor, but not nearly as many as you would expect. But something does look off, and let me think about this actually. What I guess it would be honestly, I won't even make you roll. You look at it, and it does take you a second, but you're just looking out the window like something is off, and you realize that it's sunny. It's just barely. You kind of look up, you realize like, oh, that's sun hitting the buildings and the ground, and you look up, and the sun is just barely. It's not, a full sunny day. It's just barely peeking out between those overcast clouds, but it's definitely you realize, wow, I've never seen this city in the sunlight.
Huh. That's huh. Okay. Well, so there's one of a couple theories. He's like vaguely speaking out loud. Like
Hmm.
some of the words are in his head, and a couple of them he's like saying out loud. It's like, yes, overplayed their hand. Comes out loud, but in his head he's like, if this is some interplanar being, they've overplayed their hand by trying to recreate this place and thinking I expect to see sun. I, or the sun's out in Blackbriar. Equally as strange, just for no reason. And I'm in the nicer part of the city because this armor got me better treatment. Right.
You hear the door at
Yeah.
the end of the room swing open, um, and a very comely, kind of younger-looking half-elf walks in. She's got like an apron on. She's wiping dirt off of her apron, and she goes, "Oh, finally awake, are we? Able to move around
Yes.
too, I see. That's better than you were yesterday."
Oh, yes, ma'am. Were you the one treating me?
"Oh yes, this is my apothecary."
Oh, many thanks.
"Yes, no problem. Why don't you have a sit, and we'll figure out what's going on." She kind of like points to your
Yes.
bed. Um,
Right. I walk back over.
okay.
I don't lay on the bed.
Yeah.
I sit on it with like one ass cheek,
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
ready to
That's
jump
that's
up.
kind of what she does actually. She walks and does that on the other side of the bed, and kind of leans in. Um, she's going to not really even ask. She just kind of reaches for your face and like, or if she's making a move to like grab your face, are you gonna not hostile like or anything? But
No, just but what,
yeah, she
what's the
grabs your
meat?
face, and she kind of like, lifts your eyelid up, like your right eyelid, and then your left eyelid, and she's kind of doing that, just like looking up. She grabs a stick from her apron, kind of a flat, cut stick. It's got kind of like it's been notched with a knife, carved out necessarily. And she kind of moves to put it in her mouth. She goes, "Oh, open up."
Ah,
And she sticks it in there and like wrenches your mouth open and is like really
ah,
peering down there. And she's like,
ah.
"Oh, I mean, you look fine. Do you remember how you got here by chance?"
No, I can't say that
She
I
takes it
do.
out. "All right,
No,
see."
no, I can't say that I do.
"I don't recognize the accent. You're not from around here, are you?"
No, no, ma'am.
"I
Not originally, at least.
not worried to ask what you're doing with that sigil on your armor, though."
Trainee.
Hmm. She's looking at you a little sus.
I look at
um.
her a little sus.
Mm-hmm. She kind of like, okay, well, So you don't remember how you got here?
No, ma'am. Was it you?
No, I run the apothecary. A couple of fellas brought you in, just totally unconscious about a day ago. Said you'd, they just found you lying in the street.
Oh,
Was wondering, if you remember any, maybe, people to reach out to or, like, yeah, now that you're conscious, I'm hesitant to let you stay here. And you look fine, by the way, apart from the cuts. I mean, you obviously got into a scrap of sorts, so.
yes. I think I remember a fight of some sort, but I don't fully recall how I got here.
Hmm.
But no need for me to take up a bed. I'll be off.
Alrighty then. Um, I don't think you had any, She kind of like looks around the bed. She's looking for some. She kind of muttering to herself, like, belongings. No, I think, yeah. Well, very well then.
What can you tell me about the men who dropped me off?
Oh, just a couple of local boys.
Do you happen to know their names?
Oh yes, there was Arvin and Draco. They just live down the street. If you want to question them.
I might go do that.
All right. She gets up and starts to walk out of the room.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Doors this way.
Thank you. I follow her out the door.
Okay. So you exit into the door, leads into a hallway. At the end of the hallway, so like you come out of the room and turn to your left, and there's a hallway. Not much more of a hallway to the right. To the left, at the end of the hallway to the left, there's stairs that go down, and kind of a spiral staircase, and she goes down those.
I follow.
Okay. Yeah, so you follow down the stairs, and it leads into a very nice little, kind of fresh-looking shop, perhaps newly built. You think, maybe fresh-looking kind of like timber. Some of the stonework in the corners of the room is newer, not as terrible as you're used to seeing Blackbriar. But there's just lovely, greens and plants hanging from the ceiling and on shelves and stuff in jars, and it's a very earthy shop at the first floor of this store. Um,
I gotta say, it's a pretty nice shop you got here. You new?
oh,
Everything
relatively.
looks so fresh.
I've been here a few years myself.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
Hmm.
We are still
Hmm.
in leading on for like trying to make her like
Mm-hmm.
finish the sentence like
Oh, my shop?
which is in the oh yes yeah which is in the city the town.
Blackbriar? Yes.
Okay, fine. Yes.
Oh, however, did you good? She points at your cuts and.
I'm just still a little wary. I'm just not used to and waking up in strange shops.
Well, I assure you, there's worse places to wake up in this town. So, honestly, it's a miracle they brought you in alive. Not doesn't happen a lot in this place.
I can imagine. Oh well, yes. Thank you again. Do I owe you anything?
Oh no, no.
All right. And your name again was
Oh, Merry Monarch.
Mary Monarch.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
And if you start feeling uncomfortable or perhaps turning a strange color, just come back and see me and clear it right up. She
Sorry,
gives you a
what?
very nice smile and
Oh,
opens the door. Like,
oh, I think that was a joke, and I'll just walk out. And when I'm in the street, I look around.
it's
How do press
Blackbriar.
the people look?
I mean,
Regular depression that
they
I've
look like
noticed.
depressed people that are seeing the sun for the first time, and like well, they look like yeah, it's not great. It's definitely Blackbriar. I mean, people are kind of just mulling about, and you see like a couple of thieves guilders harassing like just a few people, and but people are just kind of trying to pay them no mind, we'll say. But I mean,
Okay.
it's kind of it is a sunny day for the most part, and that is maybe you think cheering people up a little bit. But I
I
mean,
try
it's
to.
kind of the
Oh,
typical churning street, you know. You don't recognize the street, however.
that's fair. I try to see if my magic works. Try to use a minor image to create like a little rat scurrying around.
Um, let's see, let's see. Let me think about that. It has to make that sound.
Well, I do. I have to because I don't have instruments, so I could. I have to make noises with my mouth hole.
um, yeah, I'd say that works.
Okay. And then I use prestidigitation to change it into like a green rat.
It it isn't as quick as you'd imagine. I mean, it feels like you're kind of exercising it, if that makes sense. So it doesn't come as quick, but you do get it. So yeah, eventually.
Oh, all right. Hmm. And then I try to mend up the rips in the armor.
Yeah, yeah, that works. Same thing.
Mending,
It's just kind of
mending,
like,
mending, mending.
it takes.
Baby's first mending. It's like,
Mm-hmm. Takes a
why?
little longer than you think it would. You kind of have a little bit of a brain fog, I think, would be the best way to put it.
Must
You're
have
just like,
really.
yeah, oh, mending, and then it's like, okay, there it is. Like, yeah. But I mean, you definitely feel like there's a bruise on the back of your head. You definitely landed on the ground going fast.
Well, she said those boys live down the street. All right. Which means that's if this is a higher entity that's trying to this is all in my head.
Hmm.
This is a higher entity trying to replicate Blackbriar. That's where they want me to go, and I go and try to find the drunken owl.
Okay. You see the watchtower. I mean, from where you are, you see the watchtower. So it's really not hard to miss, honestly. I'm trying to think of how to. Let me look at my map again to give you the correct. Like, it's to your left or to your right, or it's facing this way. Um, I don't know why I closed the map. I had everything from last session open, but not this time.
Ren's going off of like if he can still remember that dream,
Hmm.
somehow this is Fae shit.
Yeah.
So he's not gonna do what the Fae want him to do.
Okay. Okay? That's there. You are. Oh jeez, this is hard. Where did I? There. So standing out of the apothecary, which the sign reads Monarch's Apothecary. Um, it's the tower kind of like with your back immediately to the door looking straight forward. The tower is to your diagonal right. So you can see it just barely kind of looming over some buildings. In fact, as you look down like to your right down the street a ways, you can see where the drop off is for the river. It's where you could go and look at the river. Apart from that, you think maybe just go right and then follow the river to the Drunken Owl would be best. Otherwise, you're going to be cutting through a lot of alleyways and streets and stuff that you don't really know.
Yeah, I'll take the path that I can actually know
Okay.
or attempt to know.
Yeah. So yeah, you're walking kind of a crowded street. Um,
Just trying to blend in, trying to look like I deserve respect because I'm a guild member.
Yeah. As you walk, kind of through definitely a crowd. Sorry, let me get this. Oh, that's about the weirdest three rolls I could have done. Okay. So about some people don't pay mind. Some people kind of give you an eye and maybe furrow their brow and keep walking. Um, but some people are looking at you just with a look of disgust on their face. I mean, they're definitely like, ugh, and like bumping, kind of like hitting your shoulder as they walk by, if they see you before they walk by you. Um, but you think maybe it's quite the opposite. Instead of a look of respect, the people that surely notice you are like, ugh, kind of trying to steer clear of you a little bit.
Well, I mean that kind of only helps right now
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you walk.
because
Oh.
yeah, I don't wanna make any fuss. I just want to get back, drunken owl, figure out how the mission went,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
then
for sure.
get what next step.
Yeah. Okay. Um.
Did we get out Doctor Archduke Croanus?
Priority target number one.
Priority target number one. Priority target number two. Did they get whatever the fuck they want in there to get? Priority target three. Why was no one there when I woke up?
Mm-hmm.
Four is where the fuck's my owl? Why was he not there when I woke up?
Good question. Very good question. Um. So you're walking down the street.
Yep.
Um. And how? I mean, your passive perception's a 20, so I imagine you're kind of keeping a. Or it's not 20,
And
it's a
I.
19, sorry. Yeah,
Yes,
you're
I think
kind of
I think the
scanning. It's a
investigation's the 20.
21. Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
investigation's a 21, your passive, or your perception's a 19. And, yeah, so you're just kind of keeping an eye. Like, I imagine you're keeping your head down, but your eyes are kind of, scanning the crowd, people that walk by you.
Which kind of helps the character.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's definitely something a son of Trinith would do. And
No, I meant the Thieves Guild member.
oh yeah, that's true actually. That's not out of character for them either. Although you have noticed that no Thieves Guild members that you pass are really paying you mind. Um, the few that there seems to be less of them. I will say. For you, like Thogak might not notice that, but Rin might. Like it's not entirely noticeable, but you do kind of perceive a slightly lesser amount, we'll say. Um,
Yeah, because I don't think Thogak could kill that many. I don't. Yeah,
yeah.
like, I'm sure he tried, but not not that many. So it was a little weird. Are they all on high alert, guarding whatever? Maybe we failed, and they're all guarding that vault, and I should walk faster.
So you do pick up your pace. Um, Tell me, and you're welcome to turn this question back on me because it's something we might have talked about, but I don't know if we did. Um, Apart from the Thieves Guild disguise, right? Like you had your drumsticks with you.
Yeah.
You do still have your drumsticks with you. Did you
Okay.
bring anything else, like a coin purse or anything that you'd
No.
wear on your exterior? So it's just the.
I was in full costume because all I needed was my voice. Oh, I did have a small. No, I didn't even need that. Yeah, all I needed was my voice and my drumsticks just in case for the
Mhm.
mission. Everything else was just Thieves Guild attire.
Any sort of like daggers or.
I probably had a
I
dagger,
don't
sure.
remember if we gave you a short sword.
No, probably not,
Okay.
because Rin wouldn't know what the
Yeah,
fuck to do with it.
probably that sounds right.
If anything, I had two daggers then.
Okay. Um, So how do you store your drumsticks? I know last session I let you pull them both out with one hand because normally drumsticks are kept together. You don't have to keep them like that. Honestly, I'm fine just letting
I,
you draw one with each hand if they're a two-handed weapon, like one per hand, so like one-handed
yeah,
weapon.
I
So,
figure I
so how
figure I
does he
keep
keep his drumsticks?
one on each foot because in my head the heads of them are a little bit thicker
Okay.
than like normal. They're like mallet
Yeah. Yeah,
drumsticks,
that's kind
you know.
of. I see him as like a hybrid. Sometimes I see him like that. Sometimes they're normal drumsticks. Um, yeah. Okay. So one kind of like on each. Do you have like a little
Like
kind
a
of like
little
a boot
holster.
knife, but
Yeah,
it's drumsticks? Okay.
exactly.
And your daggers, where are they on your person?
They're on the hips
Okay.
because I don't give a fuck about them really.
Okay. Um, let me. Ooh.
Are they missing? Is one of them missing? Is that what you're telling me?
No. But. Okay, that's not
People bumped
terrible.
into me and they give me the old fucking pickpocketaroo.
Yeah. So as you're walking, you pick up your pace. Um, a child runs past you and kind of
Oh,
bumps
you
into
little
your
fucker.
hip, and you just barely like you. Ooh, it's it's close, but you just it's almost like you don't feel it, but then you clue and you're like, wait, yeah, you realize this kid kind of bumped into your leg and snatched the drumstick on your right foot, and he's
Do I
kind
have
of
time to
making his
like?
way through the crowd.
Ah, I don't. All
He's
right.
going. You're gonna have to catch him.
Ah, yep,
Um,
yep.
I will
I chase him.
say passive, I guess either investigation or perception. We'll say perception because even with the higher investigation, it'd be the same answer. He does look familiar, just from behind as he
Th-
kind of darts past you. He looks over his shoulder at you very briefly and then disappears into the crowd. Just that one glimpse, you kind of like you're like,
Wait, you!
my drumstick, you. Yeah.
I grab the other drumstick and run. That way, no one's grabbing the other one.
Another kid comes in the opposite direction and takes it out of your hand. No, not really.
No!
Then they just
That's
start
what I
taking your
didn't want
clothes
to happen.
like vultures. Um,
They are. It's like, you can only chase one of us. There's 30 pieces of your shit gone.
oh my
No!
god, you're just a naked man in the middle of Blackbriar. Like 7 kids stole your weapons and clothes.
Damn it! It's every part's nightmare.
No, ma'am. Sorry, the kitten's being crazy. No, ma'am. I will throw this pillow at you. You get down from there. Get down from there. Dude, this cat is a bastion. She just does not care. Okay, yeah. So are you pursuing him? He kind of you don't
I pursue
entirely lose
Lubu.
sight of him, but he's starting to disappear into the crowd.
Yeah, I pursue Lubu.
Okay, yeah. So you're kind of having to push through this really dense crowd. This kid is very smart with his escape. Um, because you're just able to kind of keep seeing him, but he's definitely weaving his way through the crowd in such a way that like he turns to the left and you turn to the left and you bump into someone, you're like, oh, shit, you kind of have to move around him, and it's a lot like that. Um,
Fuck. I swear to Christ, kid, I.
but you see him dart out of the crowd into an alleyway.
Haha! Slide to the alley, like, dude.
Like slide through the mud. Yeah, he's standing at the end of the alleyway. It's a dead end alleyway. Um, he's tossing your drumstick up and catching it. And now that you get a better look at him, definitely the kid. He's got, just because I don't remember describing him before, he's got on kind of, I mean, shabby clothes. Like you've seen kids running around Blackbriar. It's basically the same deal, just kind of like a very loosely knit, not knit, like I'm trying to, like a very light fabric, kind of like it's hard to describe. I mean, like an old, kind of like a medieval shirt, how it was like that kind of very light fabric, but it had a very heavy knit to it. Um, you could see the stitching, if that makes sense. That kind of like a gray shirt like that. You know, pants that are like brown pants that are kind of tattered and torn at the bottom. Uh, Kind of little leather like boot shoes. They're kind of like that weird in between, covered in mud. He's got on a leather cap that kind of like a peasant's coif, if you know what those are. A very nice like tight fitting leather cap. Um, he's kind of just like tossing your drumstick up and catching it. Over the mud, Ren. Over the
Yeah,
mud.
that's I know.
Here's just standing at the end of
Uh,
the alleyway.
all right, buddy. You had your fun. Now give me back my drumstick.
He kind of cocks his head at you and just tosses it up and catches it.
I'm getting closer as talking with my hand
Mm-hmm.
out.
How close are you gonna get?
I'm gonna get close enough to grab the fucker if I need to.
It's probably I think maybe a 20-foot alleyway. Just it goes in, dead end once again. He's probably 5 feet from the back wall, so that'd be 15.
So I move 15.
Okay. So you kind of close the distance, and he stood there.
My hands out. Like,
Mm-hmm. He
come
cocks
on.
his head. He looks at it. He's like, I'll sell it to you.
You're gonna sell me my own property.
Hmm? Who says it's your property? It's in my hand.
It was on my boot.
It's not on your boot anymore.
Your ass is gonna be on my boot in a second.
Hmm. Okay. Um, you hear several sets of boots fall into the alleyway behind you.
Be one of these things, huh?
He just kind of shrugs his shoulders. He's looking very smug, this kid.
I turn around. How many fucking little midgets are there?
There are four fully grown men.
That is.
Not just men, some half elves, but like probably we'll just say like 2 men, 2 half elves. Um,
I turn around going, oh, great. It's going to be a bunch of Cockney pickpockets. Oh, fuck.
nope. They're in leather armor, dark leather armor, and you can see the Thieves Guild logo. But their armor does look different. Like it's not the same leather armor as yours. And you notice the one leading them, is really looking at your armor. And in fact, he points that out. He kind of points his dagger that he has drawn. He points it at like your chest, where one of the logos is. And he says, "Interesting armor. Where'd you get it?"
It was given to me.
Okay. You dare put that sigil on that armor, knowing what it means, I assume.
Why don't you enlighten me? What does this sigil mean?
Ooh. I've got a tricky one, and he looks over his shoulder at one of the other three. Um, and he kind of looks over his other shoulder at one of the other three, and or I guess at the same three, and he nods at you, points the dagger, and says, "Right, go get me that armor." And 2 of them come around his shoulders and start walking towards you, brandishing daggers.
Now, go get me that armor. Doesn't seem like what a sigil would mean.
They're coming to get the
Now,
armor.
if y'all take one more step, I'm gonna have to get violent, and nobody wants me to get violent, especially me.
You can talk big all you want, pal, but there's 4 of us. One of you.
Did they take another step?
Oh yeah, they're walking towards you. They're about to get to you.
How far away is all of them?
Um, the 2 that are walking towards you are probably 10 feet. The guy that was talking to you is another 5 feet behind them, and there's a guy behind him over his shoulder.
All right.
And as you're sitting here kind of thinking they're walking towards you, you feel a knife get pressed against your inner thigh, and you just hear behind you, "Actually, there's 5 of us." They're walking towards you.
Well,
They have arrived at you, and they're going to
No,
be
that was part
attempting.
of the spell. That
Oh.
was part of the spell.
Oh. What is the
I
spell?
go, ah! Level Thunderwave. Third level Thunderwave.
Oh, fuck. Yuck, dude. Okay, hit me with it.
I need con saves.
How many? From probably four of them, right?
Yeah,
That's
from
in the
like
range.
four of them.
They're all standing in the mouth of the alleyway or in it. Four con saves. Let me do. Let's see. That's not good. Lucky number 4. First one is a 4. Yay. Okay, 4. No shit. 4, not. Okay. I need you to know that I'm not lying when I say that I got 2 natural 20s and a 6. And
Okay.
I'm gonna Facebook message you a picture of this because
You don't have to.
I roll so shittily when I'm like a player. But for some reason
I believe you. You're the DM. You have no reason to lie to me.
I know. It will make me feel better. Yeah, so 2 of them get a natural 20. I think one of them got a 6. I'm actually glad I took a picture because I don't remember what. Oh, okay.
I gotta finish up what we're doing right now, then I gotta go for a sec.
Okay. So that is going to be 2 20s, 4 and a 6. So I'm assuming 2 of them save.
Two of them save and take half damage, and 2 of them fail and
2 of
take the
them,
whole damage
yeah.
and get blown back.
The 2 right in front of you fail. The 2 in the back save.
Well, the 2 right in front of me take 15 damage.
Okay.
And are blown back 10 feet. And the 2 that save take half of 15. So what is that, like 7?
Okay. 7. We'll round it up. Okay, 15, 15, 7, and 7.
Technically rounded down with 7.
For 15, 7, and 7. Oh, it'd be 8 then. Don't we round it up for...
Okay.
Yeah, we'll round it up.
Alrighty.
Sorry, let me jot that down real quick. Okay, and the kid does not take any because he's behind you.
No damage. He's behind me.
Okay.
Plus, I really don't want to hurt a child if I don't have to. I'm not a monster.
This is a perfectly acceptable, and what I imagined would happen. Not the Thunder Wave, but yeah, I did expect you to hurt a child. Okay, let me think about this for a second. Think about how to describe it more like.
By the way, what's my health at?
You seem healthy. I mean,
so I know I only have 1 spell slot left on
Yeah.
my sheet right now because I'm still from last week.
Mm-hmm.
Can I remember I'm at 1 health and have the 1 spell slot and just hit long rest right now?
Well, go ahead and do long rest. I mean, at the start of next session, do a short rest. Actually, at the end of next session, you will have taken a short rest technically.
Well, because short rests don't give me any of my spell slots back.
Okay.
So if I have all of them,
I don't think you do have all of them.
do I just have that 1? Because that's why I cast that 3rd level.
Yeah.
Because it's the only spell slot I had.
Yeah. We'll say you have that 1. But
now
you
I
do
have
max HP.
So I have no spell slots and max HP.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I have cantrips.
Yeah, you have cantrips. Thankfully, you have Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, you do
Thank
use
God
your spell slots.
I'm not a normal bard and don't have Vicious Mockery.
The thing is, when you cast that Thunder Wave, even at 3rd level, because that's a powerful, Thunder Wave.
Mm-hmm.
It just you're kind of rearing up. Now walk me through your Thunder Wave again.
So I kind of grabbed my neck and I was like, ah! and like as once I've reached the peak, sound waves start bursting out like and like push them back to 10 feet and radiate damage over them.
Okay, that's right. Um, so third level, that's as powerful as you can cast Thunderwave.
Uh-huh.
And even still, as you
4d8.
yeah, as you kind of well up that power inside of yourself to cast that, you just feel we'll just say that same presence that offered you its hand from what you could tell.
Oh.
You feel it kind of well again, and it kind of gets to a point where you're about to cast Thunderwave and like you realize like I couldn't stop this if I tried, and it comes out the Thunderwave even more powerful than you feel like it should.
Oh.
And these guys in front of you are what's the best way to shattered
Shattered.
as the thunder wave, the ripples of noise escape your mouth as they do. It travels, down this thin alleyway. I imagine if you could see kind of visible rings, of the sound waves, they're kind of in a similar way to how you've seen the walls and like, with that door originally and your first dream cracking like that glass. I mean, you create these cracks in the wall. These stone walls. Some of them, the one on your right is stone. The one on your left is stone and wood, kind of mixed together, wood beams and stone. And wood, stone, the ground of the alleyway alike, the mud starts to crack like glass as this sound wave comes out of your mouth and it hits these first two guys and they kind of brace with their arms, and starting at their arms they just literally cracks form in their flesh as they stand there bracing, and eventually they just start to chip away as kind of parts of them are blown off until they kind of are collapsed and pushed towards the back of the alleyway, pardon, in pieces, as if they were shattered. The two guys at the back of the alleyway get pushed back, but don't take that kind of damage. And the two in the very back have a very verbal reaction um, of,
And as
what the fuck?
and
And
as my hands remove from my throat, I'm just holding up 3 fingers and stay keeping one hand up.
yeah,
Yeah, trying to like keep. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your describing,
no,
but yeah, like getting that intimidation factor.
mm-hmm,
And when you're done describing, I got like a quick jab, and then I got to head out.
yeah. Um, well, do you want to? How long are you gonna be gone for? Do you want to just leave it there for a sec? Or?
Maybe 10 minutes, 10, 15 at the
Mm,
most.
okay, we'll go for just a couple seconds longer. So, as that happens, there's a little bit of a reaction time. Um, you do that, with 3 fingers, and you're kind of punched by that ringing noise, ever present, but you start to get used to it. But it really just kind of like, like in your ear, and you're like, ooh, and you can definitely hear it all around you, and a very visible change in lighting occurs, especially in the street, like outside of the alleyway. Like all of a sudden, and by the way, you notice there aren't any people in the street anymore. It's almost like a group of people walk past the alleyway and then they're just empty.
Mhm.
So you notice that first, and you kind of notice those two thieves guild members at the end of the alleyway. They start looking around like, what the fuck is going on? And then the light just starts to drain from the street. It just starts to go very, very dark, very, very pitch black almost. And you notice a kind of steamy smoke starting to seep in through the cracks that your thunder wave caused in the alleyway, and kind of come up through the floor like dry ice falling and starting to pool on the floor, from within which a very kind of pale pastel green glow is starting to uh, become the only source of light, and that kind of spreads into the main street as well. And in fact, kind of comes from either side of the alleyway into the main street, kind of just sweeps very, very quietly into the main alleyway until it's about up to your shins, and basically everyone's just looking around like, what the fuck is going on? Um, and that is where we will take our little break. If you'd like to,
I want to just put the barb in.
the bar, what
Put
the
that
what?
one little. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
go for it.
um. So 3 fingers up.
Mm-hmm.
All the smoke's coalescing around me. I go. Well, now there's 3. So that
Hmm.
cost you 2 for the drumstick. How many more you want? As I look down at the kid and his knife.
The kid has dropped his knife and has pressed his back up against the alleyway. The dead end.
And then Rin, as he's turning back, looks at the kid. In his head, he goes, "Ah!
Hmm.
What? Okay, all
Oh.
right. I'm stronger than this being thought I was. Apparently, I'm in the weak dimension. Fly, fabric of reality, it's crashing down around me."
Oh god.
All right, I'll be back.
So yeah, alrighty. Let's just do Blackbriar the city. So we will now be taking a short break and return momentarily. Yes, I'm coming to feed you, Bowie. Yes, kitty. Hello. Hello, hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hey, I'm here. Sorry, my mom wasn't here. Good night.
Oh, no problem.
All right. Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem. No problem. It's all good. Give me time to think about where to. Oh Lord. Okay.
How to fuck me up?
How to just ruin everything. You lost your voice. Now, your left testicle.
Oh,
I'm coming for it.
no.
Then the right. I'm gonna make you
No!
a eunuch. Voiceless
I'm a,
eunuch.
I'm a castrati!
But you can't say that because you don't have a voice.
Exactly.
Uh, okay. Okay, where did we leave off?
The
Shatter,
world.
people blew up,
Yeah, the world started to go to
worlds.
shit.
Yeah, it's real dark. It's basically pitch black outside, but there's a fog, green glow.
It's getting real dark.
There's two people at the mouth of the alleyway that have taken damage. You turned around to taunt the child, but he is pressed up against the wall. He's dropped his dagger.
Like, oh, bitch. Does he
He's
have my
shaking.
drumstick still?
He's holding your drumstick. And the second you turn around, he's like shaking and wide-eyed, and he like extends the drumstick out towards you, for you to take it.
I take it and I go, who are you?
You say that, and he looks puzzled. He like you've caught him off guard, obviously, and he opens his mouth to say something, and he doesn't, like he's like, ah, ah," and like he kind of closes his mouth. He's still like pressed up against the wall.
And when he moves the lift, just a bunch of gibberish. Exactly, I forgot about Dre.
You sound a little far away.
Do I? Better?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe it's Maybelline. Okay. Yeah, so he just like goes to open his mouth, and then you hear or not you hear, sorry. You see him look like over your shoulder after this moment of hesitation, and he is like, "No!" And you hear footsteps running up to you, and does a
Motherfuckers act like they forgot about Dre.
motherfuckers to forget about Dre. I think a 15 hits your AC.
Yeah, beats it.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
A sword, meet my AC.
Let me open this real quick. Sorry. Oh, let me calculate this real quick. Sorry, my bad. Okay. 10. No, whoa, that's wrong. 8. 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
He comes up and he's, kind of comes up, catches you over the shoulder. He goes to stab down and he kind of misses and comes down, kind of like nicks your collarbone a little bit. And he rolled a 15, so that hits. Another. Oh, minimum damage. 5 damage. Piercing.
Okay.
Same thing. He kind of comes in for another attack. And this is the one that was speaking to you initially, and he is very angry. From what you can tell, assuming you like turn around to face him as he comes up to you, the other one has fled. So it's just this guy. The kid is on the back wall still. I'm assuming you took your drumstick from him, so you do have your drumstick.
Yeah, I said that. I said I took the drumstick.
Okay,
yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So we will. There's really no need to go into initiative. We'll just say it's your turn. We'll just alternate since there's really 2 players. Yeah. Okay.
Then I attempt to club him with the drumstick.
Right. He is wearing leather armor and looks like a kind of a typical Thieves Guild member.
Good. 15?
No, just misses.
All right. Second attack. 19.
That just no, that hits, of course. His leather
2 damage.
armor. Okay.
It was, offhand.
Mhm. Yeah.
No modifier.
Fuck yeah. Oh no, that's a bad thing. Um. Okay. What did you? You just hit him with the mallet, right?
Yeah, I was like going for I went for his jaw with my right hand and it missed. So then the second one would be me coming up underneath for it.
You hit
My
him, and
left.
it seems like it has more than an effect. More of an effect than you expect. You hit him kind of like you like clock him on the side of the head of the like maybe near the ear, and he kind of cringes and kind of reaches his offhand up to like grasp at his ear, and he has a very strong wince of pain, and he kind of corrects himself and he lunges at you again to stab you. He misses his first attack. Hits his second attack. It's like a 19, I think. And 9 damage? Yeah, 9 damage. 9 piercing. God damn. I need to start using this DM die for playing. Because I got it to be my dedicated Dungeon Master die, and this thing actually, it's like the first, I feel like, nicely weighted die I've ever purchased. Thank God. It's my metal die. But it is your turn.
Um, Drumsticks.
Tasty.
Taster. Yeah, it's either drumsticks or disadvantage Eldritch Blast. So
Hey, you saw what Shatter did.
yeah, but disadvantage though.
That's
This is what
disadvantage.
got me here in the first place
You
out of the
could
game.
hit. It's true. It's true. I can tell you, you have more health than he does.
Still almost half down.
Ooh, that's a good point.
Um, yeah, so yeah, drumstick. The first one is a 16.
Yes, that hits.
All right, for 4 damage.
Okay.
That was like ribs.
Okay, good. You get him a good crack in the ribs. Okay. When you hit with this one, um, it does a noticeable amount. Hold up, 20.
Can you see the rolls I do on D&D Beyond?
No, I cannot.
Aw, that'd just make it so much easier.
It kind of would, wouldn't it? Yeah. No, I cannot, unfortunately. I can
The
update it. If I refresh my page, it updates like your health and your spell slots, which is nice. But
Well, that's good at
it does
least.
not show you the rolls. Yeah, you hit him in the ribs with just the first attack, and when you hit him, his leather armor cracks, which looks odd to the eye, I'm sure, and he definitely like, like kind of grabs his side, like he's in pain, more pain than what did you do? 6 damage?
4.
4 damage. More than 4 damage worth. He's like, "Ugh," and a little bit of blood kind of seeps out of this cracked leather, which just looks wrong. Um,
Yeah,
and you
that's not how leather
and
leathers.
we'll say every time you swing your mallets, basically, it makes that kind of resonating. I don't know if you remember that kind of resonating, ringing noise, like as they swing through the air. It's like kind of as it like, and then you hit, and it makes like instead of a boom um, noise. So, yeah,
The
next
second
second
one
attack.
is a 15. Son of a bitch.
No, that does not hit.
Yeah.
Um, that being said, he is going to kind of stumble backwards a little bit, especially after that one. Um, he kind of takes a couple of steps back, and he is looking at you, and he's got his hand on his side. And he kind of looks down his hand and pulls it away, and it's got blood on it. Um, and he kind of looks at you, and he looks a little frightened, we'll just say, and he says, "Look, just don't hurt the kid." And he's holding his sword down.
I didn't even start this. Y'all started this shit. I'm not a monster. I wouldn't hurt a child. Well, unless the child starts to stabbing me.
So you get stabbed in the back of the leg. No. His knife is actually at your feet, the knife that the kid had.
I know.
This guy, he's looking at you, and all of a sudden you notice his eyes go like, his pupils just like, I guess, contract, whatever the opposite of dilate is. They go very narrow, and he just locks up, like in the like almost like he froze in place, but you can tell his muscles are, tensed up, we'll say, and he's trying to mouth words. He's like, "Please stop," and he's just like starting to shake just a little bit. And the kid does run up to you now, and he starts like, it doesn't do damage, but he starts running up and like beating on you, like trying to punch you, I guess. And he's like, "Please stop!" He's just, "You don't hurt him." He's like just punching you.
I'm not doing anything else right now. All I do is hit him. You're just hitting me. I'm not even controlling what the fuck's going on now.
The kid kind of gets like frustrated, like, "Oh!" He runs up to the guy,
and
I
I don't let him. I grab him by the collar.
You grab him by the collar?
I don't need him over there. I don't need him over there. That's a dangerous area. Everything's cracking. I need to talk about why he's in my fucking head before. So.
Yeah, no, he's contesting you. He's not going to get out of your grip. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe give me a strength, but he's a child, so like.
I understand he's a child, but I have an 8.
That's a good point. So I guess give me a we'll kind of go for a grapple.
Grapple?
Yeah.
All right. With my -1, I got a 13.
Okay. I got less than a 13. That's
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So you do successfully kind of hold him, and he's definitely trying to get out of your grip, and he's just like, "No, let me go! Stop this!" And his guild guy in front of him is just kind of standing there, still like holding that pose. As you see cracks from underneath his armor start to kind of trace their way through his skin.
Under the armor.
Under the skin. Looks very painful. I mean, his skin is quite literally cracking, as if it were made of glass, and he is just frozen, like gritting his teeth.
I would like to pull the kid in and turn him around.
Yeah.
That way he's not looking.
Yeah.
And like pull him into me.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's still fighting you, and he's trying to look. And you turn around, and you just hear this kind of like, yeah. And the kid's just trying to get out of your grip, kind of.
What's going on here?
Are you still like holding him?
Yeah, I'm still holding him.
He's just trying to get out of your grip violently, actually. I'm gonna roll for him to see.
Boy, if you don't settle the fuck down.
He is terrified. Yeah, he's still in your grip.
Yeah, I saw a 19 come up. I was like, yeah, -1, still okay.
Still pretty good. That's better. Good thing you're fighting a child.
Yeah. Ha! Fuck you, child.
Yeah.
Your child strength.
Um, yeah. Oh, excuse me. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Yeah, he's just trying to suspecting the worst from the noise. He's just trying to kind of worm his way out of your grip. Um, he's
I,
crying
I,
rather heavily now, and
yeah, let it out, let it out. I don't know what's going on either, but then we're gonna try to figure it out together once you're done being hysterical.
from outside of the alleyway, you hear kind of an echoey scream just in the distance. You just hear like a just kind of fades.
I turn around.
It's the alleyway.
No one there.
No, the scream
Uh,
did sound kind of distant.
how are those cracks?
I mean, they look
Shit still leaking out of it.
yeah, like kind of a little bit, but it's kind of more like there's just this like almost knee length kind of shin between like shin and knee length um fog, mist on the ground that's kind of lit from within by that green glow.
If I try to like get down on like my butt with this kid, and hold him, can I do that?
Yeah, you'd be it'd come up to just about your neck, you think, if you were on your
Okay,
butt.
I'm gonna do
Um
that. Does it feel weird on my skin?
it's a little cool, I think you might say, but it's just about
So
real, like kind of like dry ice. It's just a little
what if I
warmer. It's not
breathe it
like,
in?
yeah, it's kind of not very noticeable, honestly.
Okay, so it's not like noxious.
No.
All right.
But it does move
Has he
around you
calmed
in a
down at all?
strange way, if that makes
Moves
like
around.
it's like when you sit down, it's almost pushed out of the way by you, and then it kind
Okay.
of settles. It kind of starts to flow around you a little bit. Yeah, he's starting to settle down just simply because he's getting tired. Um,
All right, buddy.
and yeah, he just is kind of crying
All
now,
right.
and
So
he just kind of
moment talk.
says, um, "Why are you doing this?"
I didn't do. Or I did something. I didn't mean for any of that. And to start it off, you robbed me, and then they attacked me first. And then I defended myself, and then reality started cracking. And I don't know why that's happening either.
So they didn't send you
Who?
the bad people.
No, who are the bad people?
At this moment, as you ask that, um, you hear something. We'll just say, "Oh goodness, this is interesting." Um, you just kind of hear like a crack, like almost like a whip, if that makes sense, like and a body comes just flying out from the street into the alleyway. It
Mm,
kind of at a diagonal. It hits about 10 feet up on the wall just inside the alleyway and just falls down with a nice stream of blood. Um, kind of leftover splatter from the body. And just lands at the front of the alleyway. He whips his head around to see what that might be.
yeah, I also, um, yeah, I want to see if I can tell what the fuck through that.
um, but you do hear a really interesting noise coming from the street now. So the best way I could describe it is like a very large, we'll say like a leather sack being dragged kind of through the mud. You just hear this like like through the mud of that main street. Um, are you still holding the kid?
Um, kinda.
Okay. He's gonna try and get up and get out of your grip.
Yeah, I let him like get out of the grip, but like still with like a hand on him.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, he's gonna make a run for the end of the alleyway.
Yeah, I'm kind of going with him because I want to see what the fuck's going on.
Okay. So he's like not intentionally leading you, but he's basically leading you. And he runs to the mouth of the alleyway and kind of sticks his head out, as to you. And it's really low visibility. It's kind of like when you woke up in that dream,
Mhm.
surrounded by this mist, except now instead of the pathway, it's the streets of Blackbriar. And as you stick your head out of the alleyway, you kind of start to hear, um, which just sounds like, imagine if it like if you could hear in the vacuum of space, like pieces of glass kind of clinking into each other like midair, just kind of like interesting glass noises, I guess. As well as that kind of ringing, that low ringing is coming, kind of from every direction. As well as the occasional like distant crack of glass. Um, and you still hear that noise, that kind of sliding noise, coming from the street to your left, the direction that the body got thrown in. And you don't see anything, but you hear it approaching. It certainly sounds like it's getting closer.
Uh, is that one of the bad people coming?
Um, he just tries to run away from it, so like down the main street.
All right,
And he says,
follow him.
we've got to hide.
I'll go with him.
Yeah. So he leads you, and he's kind of goes to the first door that he can and tries to open it. Um, it's locked, and he kind of like goes to knock on it, and he stops himself, and he just goes. He kind of makes a run for the next door. There's not an alleyway between these buildings. These are two connected buildings.
Okay.
Um, and you're just following him through all this.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So he goes to that door, kind of does the same thing, like jostles the handle. Um, that dragging sound, you can still hear it kind of getting closer. Um, he goes to make a run for the next building, but then sees that there's an alleyway between the building that he's going to, basically the one he just tried to open and the one he was going to. Um, you can also see as well down the alleyway there is a door that leads into the building he just tried to go into, and he
Let's try
runs.
that.
Yeah, he starts running to go into the building. As you kind of get pulled into this alleyway, or led into this alleyway, you kind of glance into the street one last time, and it kind of happens fast, and it's just as you go around the corner. So it's up to you if you want to try and stick your head back out. But
Mhm.
you think you might just see for a brief moment, um, two very beady, kind of dark crimson red eyes, kind of glowing in the
Uh,
darkness of this dark place. Just kind of right as you do, you just kind of see this like glint of these eyes, and you get pulled into the alleyway. Um, and it's just this very slow moving towards you kind of thing. Um, you'd imagine
yeah,
it,
no, this
yeah.
submit follows shit.
You definitely see, or you feel like, or you know it sees you, whatever it is. Um, so yeah, he goes into the alley and runs up to the door, um, and he jostles it. It's locked as well, but the lock on this door looks much less, and so he's gonna. Are you like holding his hand, or like how do you have him by the? Like how are you?
Just like, yeah, have you ever walked through a crowded group of people with your family and you guys all kind of like grab the back of each other's pants?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
I'd say you can kind of grab like the scruff of his like shirt if you want,
Okay,
because you'd be like crouch walking if you, because he's a
fair,
tiny little
fair,
kid.
fair, fair.
Yeah. Okay, that works though. That's perfect. Yeah. So he pulls out some thieves' tools and starts trying to lockpick the door.
You any good with those?
Good enough. Shh, it'll hear us. And he starts tinkering.
Like I whisper, I'm like, oh, I'm 100% sure it knows we're here.
You hear him kind of fiddling with the lock. Okay. Yeah, and after about like 20 seconds, the whole time that slow dragging just kind of like coming nearer. Um,
I'm just kind of like watching down the alleyway, like, and then glancing back at the lock, watching down the alleyway, glancing at the lock.
hmm And right as you see, you notice like kind of out on the street that glow starts to dim from in the fog, and this darkness kind of overwhelms and starts to kind of creep into the alleyway, and you for sure see two red eyes kind of peer around the alleyway right as you hear that like, and he like pushes the door open and ducks in. Yeah. So
I
he,
come in,
yeah,
close the door, and then I try to relock it.
yeah. Um, there's no key. You'll probably have to like. In fact, actually, he kind of goes and he starts trying to like, I guess like unpick it. I don't know. It does
Yeah,
lock.
like lock
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of sticks it in, like
What's
jostles all of the things, and like he takes
what's
several
around it?
steps away. What, the door?
Yeah, with anything around the door?
Not around the door. You're kind of in like a. The best way I could say is like a storage room. So
So like
there's a
a
few
broom.
crates, a broom.
Take
I'm
the
sure you could
broom.
find a
And
broom. Yeah.
I take like any kind of like broom thing, and just press it, like wedge it against like the knob and like the
Okay.
ground.
Yeah. The knob is too low to get a like if you try and wedge it and the broom just kind of falls down. But there are several like crates and like barrels of just you don't know what's in them, but in the room there's probably like four or so crates and like two barrels and one little
Yeah, I'm
like
afraid I'm not gonna be able to move them.
it's worth a shot. He runs up to
Yeah, I
one of
guess
them and
that's fair.
starts trying to push it. It's just doing that classic like running on air thing where he's just like he just got his back to it like kicking the ground and he's just not moving.
Yeah,
His feet are moving, but
I guess I try to help.
I think you and a child can maybe move on. Yeah, give me a I guess an athletics.
Man, you're really asking for a lot here, bud. It's a good thing.
Better
It's a
than
good
negative
thing.
one.
Yeah, it's a 0. It's a good thing I had half proficiency. So
Okay.
all the woo!
What'd you get?
I got a 4.
Okay, dude, this kid got a natural 20.
All right. It was definitely me.
I mean,
That's how
he
the
got a
story's
nat
gonna
20,
go.
but he's got a negative stat more than you do, so it's really like, I don't know, probably like a 16 or something. 17. Um, so it's moving. You think the two of you are moving it, because it's really not all too heavy. But
Yeah, it's like anyone else would be like moving it with one hand,
yeah,
and
Thogak would
it's
like,
like
Hachoo! And it like fly across the room.
and we're
Um,
just like, if we
yeah.
can get it there, he'll
You
never
think
move it.
it's less the weight of the what's in it and more the friction of like wood on wood, like rough wood on wood trying to. That could be interpreted in several different ways. He's a child, Mark. Calm down.
I'm
Um,
not. What the fuck?
so you do manage to kind of slide this crate somewhat slowly, even though he got a nat 20. He's a child, so it's not like great. But you're kind of you push a crate in front of the door, and yeah, he kind of takes a step back. He kind of walks back and puts his back on the opposite wall of the door, um, and it's just kind of like breathing very heavily.
Yeah, I kind of just like step back, like, whew, I did it. I'm just waiting.
Yeah, not much happens. He's just you kind of hear just in the quietness. It's very dark. That mist is in this room as well. So there's just kind of that kind of underlit green. Actually, if you look towards your title card, yeah, that's also what the sky looks like. I don't think I mentioned that. It's kind of this.
Dim.
Yeah, that's my bad. Towards the very before that darkness sets in, kind of. There's like very high up and like almost straight up. There's just that very dim green. Hard to see with the buildings when you're in the alleyway and
Gotcha.
in the streets, so it'd be difficult to notice anyways. Kind of like, yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of quiet, very quiet. You don't hear the dragging noise anymore, and yeah.
Uh, I wait for a while,
Okay.
just try not to make a noise to alert the thing to us.
I guess I'll ask for a stealth because it knows you went in here, but if you're trying to be quiet, yeah.
17.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Ooh, he didn't do as well. Okay, so you're pretty quiet. Um, you're not breathing super heavily. You're just kind of standing pretty still, looking at the door, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And the
But it came
kid,
in the other door.
yes, you hear a knock at the other door. There is another door in this room, actually.
I know it. Okay.
To if you came in through the side door, back to the wall, there's a door to your left on the kind of a square room. On the left, the wall to your left, there's a door. Um, and the kid, after probably like 30, 40 seconds of just pure silence, he kind of makes a move for that door. So he kind of like takes a step, takes another step, steps on a very creaky board, and then just stops dead still.
Like when I hear the creak, I like stare daggers at him.
He's just like got his eyes like closed as tight as they can be. His whole face is like crinkled up.
I want him
Um,
to feel the laser beam of me staring at him.
oh man. Yeah. I'm sure he does. If he
Good.
could be, he'd be staring at himself. Um,
I can't uncreaky a board. It's not something prestidigitation does. It just
just like undo the sound. Um,
Mending. Now it fits better, right? Yeah.
yeah, it won't creak again. I don't think that would work.
That's not how it
Um,
works.
no. Um, you do hear the building kind of. You hear that kind of just like that, a beat of silence, just of tension, tense silence, and all of a sudden you just hear that leather dragging noise again, and the building starts to creak. Is the best way I can describe it. You just feel the walls and the roof straining. Like I imagine like if the house was like
It's on
cemented to
the
the
roof.
ground and you like started tilting the house, the whole house like just very uncomfortable. Um
It's on the roof and it's fat.
so with a very loud crash, just this deafening and sudden something breaks through the ceiling.
God damn
Um
it. Is it in this room?
it is in this room. In fact,
No!
give me a dex save.
Great. Where's my saving throws? That's on abilities, yeah. Dex. Oh, it's my good one. One of my good ones. 20.
Okay, that's good. You dodge. You're gonna have to dodge out of the way to avoid several like falling beams of
Is
wood.
there a way I can dodge towards the child and move child out of the way
It's
of debris?
between you and the child. You can't see any debris coming his way, but the
All
debris
right.
is falling like between you two, so you kind of have to. If you're, was your back against the wall?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna have to kind of like slide to your right a little bit, um, and kind of miss it. It's kind of like caving in like a whole area. In fact, oh, I rolled, but I don't remember what I rolled for, so I'm gonna roll again. Um, or I don't remember if I rolled for that. Yeah, that's good enough. So yeah, this kind of honestly, it's very dark and it's hard to see. It's more like a shape, and it happens very quickly. But some sort of like tendrinous, like tentacle or tail or something. I mean, it's very quick. Crashes through the ceiling, and that's what that noise is, and the beams, and it wraps around the kid and just yanks him out of the room, and he kind of hits the ground and drags his hands on the floor as it kind of has
Do
to
I have any
pull
time
him
to
up.
react?
Give me a just give me roll me a d20.
10.
Okay, you do have time to react, but it's not quite fast enough. You kind of get up and kind of dive for his hands as he's getting dragged across the floor, um, and you just miss him by probably an inch, you think. I mean, so close, and he just kind of gets like yanked up through the ceiling, and he's just no, like not having a good time of it. And there's quiet for a second. You kind of hear his scream disappear into the darkness, and then you see a very eerie orange glow coming from the hole in the ceiling, and suddenly you hear that too. You just hear, and a giant plume of fire comes in through the ceiling. Give me another dex save. I will let you choose which direction to dodge this time. All the
In,
debris
in
that fell is out of the way of your dodging.
into the house more.
That door.
That was a natural 20 with a
Okay.
26.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So this kind of plume of fire. Sorry, let me get this down. This plume of fire, you kind of see it before it hits. You can tell it's kind of coming from a distance. Um,
No,
just
the kid. Jesus Christ!
yeah, kind of just
Oh,
through the fire. This just dark, deep, crimson red fire. Huge plume of it comes through the hole in the ceiling, and you see it coming, so you dodge for the door. Um,
by the honor of Trinith!
and you kind of dodge for this door and yank it open, and you kind of start to shut it as the fire really makes contact with the room, and I imagine you're kind of on the other side of the door, and the door just gets blasted off of its hinges and takes you with it. You take 4 fire damage.
I make that noise.
Yeah. And you just kind of get like shot across the room. Thankfully, the door is blocking you. Um,
Like imagine Ruby Rod in Fifth Element.
oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the door kind of pushes you, lifts you off your feet with it. You hit a table that's in the middle of this room, and kind of you take two, we'll say bludgeoning damage.
Two more bludgeoning.
Yeah, as you kind of hit the table, and kind of hit it on like your thighs, so your
You're gonna
back
kill
hits
me
it,
in
and you
my
kind
own fucking dream.
of you kind of roll off the table, and like land on the other side of it, and the door is like over you and on the other side of the room, and there's just this red crimson fire burning now in the other room. The whole room is set ablaze, and
Oh,
You just hear this kind of low rumble. I don't think I can emulate the noise, but I can try. Just a very like,
like an alligator.
kind of like an alligator, yeah, but a little less like cackly, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, and you kind of,
Coming from that room.
yeah, coming from that room, and you see these two eyes, start to lower down into the room, and you kind of just see this silhouette of this just long, somewhat serpentine. Um, you can't make out any features. It's basically like a black silhouette with these two red eyes. Just through this blazing like crimson fire, you can just see the shape of this thing as it kind of lowers its head down in, and
All right.
it's looking at you
Mark
through
knows.
the.
Mark knows I have no spell slots. Right.
Yep, I'm sure Mark knows
But,
that very
but,
well.
but Rin doesn't know that because he had full night's rest.
Hmm.
That's how magic works.
Maybe even more than that. He doesn't know.
Who's to say? You know?
Hmm.
Um, so Rin goes to an old standby and just tries to cast Phantasmal Force.
Yeah, no, if you can, nothing happens, but I like to imagine there's just kind of like this fizzly kind of feeling you get, like, as you try and cast it, just, yeah,
Like
nothing.
I try to cast it. It's like how Rin's gonna be. It's like a foreshadowing. This is how you're gonna have to talk from now on.
As you do that, though, um, you feel something, I don't know, like click inside yourself is a weird way to put it. Like, you feel like a shift, um, in your, we'll say wellness, I think, is a good way to describe it. And you start feeling like a very sharp, um, cutting pain on your chest under the armor. Um, and this thing kind of
What do you What do you want?
it cracks a grin, right? And you can tell that because there's a glow coming from its like inner throat mouth area, so you kind of get this illuminated, like slight grin on whatever this like serpentine creature is.
If I see an illuminated mouth area, I think it's
Yeah.
gonna breathe fire again,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna dive behind the table and pull it down with me.
Um, yeah, so you kind of like kick this table up because it kind of starts to grin. And you see that glow starting to come out from it again, and sure enough, um, it just all of a sudden it's just this horrific, screechy kind of roar. Um, I'm not going to emulate it at the moment for fear of just a hilarious voice crack that would totally ruin the moment. Um, but it's just like imagine like have you ever heard the death whistles? They were Aztec maybe or some sort of
Maybe.
Mayan.
Yes, actually, yes.
It's like
Yes,
imagine
I
like
have.
that with like a roar to it. It's like that on top and like a roar on the bottom. It's just terrifying. Really, it kind of sends chills down your spine. And then another bright crimson light illuminates the room, and you are full cover right now. But let's see. I'm gonna have that do. Okay, so you're gonna take 2 fire damage, and the table gets just cascaded across the room, taking you with it, kind of scooping you behind it, much like the door did. Um, this is definitely not as big a plume of fire you think. It's a little more controlled. Um, and I'll tell you what, give me another dex save. Or, okay, never mind, it'd be the same as your acrobatics. I was like, or acrobatics, but same score. So just give me a
Dude,
d20
not
plus
even
6.
joking. Nat 20 again.
Okay. Well, that's good. You kind of, like check over your shoulder as you're getting pushed across this room and you're heading right for a big, like, storefront glass window. Um, and you kind of manage to, like, like kind of kick up and you ball up and just through this window. And actually manage to kind of land. You kind of land on the small of your back and roll over and skid, into the middle of the street. Um, and you, ooh, let's have like one like piece of glass shard sticking in your like there's a space where the armor doesn't quite cover your arm like right at the I don't know, the cusp of your shoulder,
I
like
take
right at
how
the
much
top of
more?
your arm. Hmm?
How much more do I take?
It's just one.
Okay.
Yeah, just yeah, 1 HP. Um, so that doesn't feel great, but you're not dead yet. Um,
I take this if I can. I take this opportunity to just run.
yeah, no, you definitely can. You're surrounded by glass, and you just see the eyes of this creature peering at you from the main room of the shop now. Um, give me. Would you just book it, or would you look around?
I I have to look around because that's just who I am.
Yeah. Well, and your
I have
passive
to
is kind
book
of what
it.
I'm going off of. Do
Yeah, I
give me
have
a
to.
perception though.
Alrighty. What the fuck is skills? 18.
18. Oh yeah. So you kind of land outside of this window, um, and you. How do I describe this? You see a very long. You see like kind of a tail peeking out from the alleyway, right? That you guys came into. It looks like the same kind of thing that grabbed the kid. You don't see the
Yeah.
kid. And you see it kind of going into the window. You see the head in the main room, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you see the body wrap up around the building to the left, kind of go over, and then come back. And then you see it coming around from the other side and going over top the building. You kind of catch a glimpse that this thing, whatever it is, you can't see much more than that, just kind of these like various bits that go around the buildings. This thing is big. um,
Huh. Yeah, I run.
okay.
And I ran. I ran so
So you just
far
start
away.
running. You've got alleyways if you want, but you've got left, you've got right. Um,
I want alleyways. If this thing is big,
mhm.
it's going to have the advantage in a straightaway. So I am making lefts, rights through alleyways as I can.
Okay. Um, yeah. So you're just kind of like you run, you know, you skid to a stop as you see an alleyway, and you just take off down the alleyway. And you hear just crashing noises of stone and glass and mostly glass, but just stone and wood breaking and just exploding basically. And that sound, that hurried, what you could assume is some sort of kind of slithering noise now of this colossal creature, trying to catch you. You imagine. Um,
Okay, I get it. You're all knowing and all powerful, oh great fey creature that is doing this, but you don't have to kill me in this own fantasy. All right, I understand. I'm not an ignorant human. I hate humans. Just as I'm going.
You kind of skid. You see another alleyway. You skid and you turn to run down it. There's a turn to the left at the end of the alleyway. You run down that. Go to take the left. It's a dead end.
Yep. No, no. Doorways, windows,
No doorways.
windows.
Only thing, no windows except for higher up. The only thing is a ladder that's about probably 15 feet um, above the ground. So probably I don't know 7 feet above you.
I try to make a running jump for it.
Um, yeah. How far would that get you? I don't know if it
Fucking
gets you that high up.
let's see. Hold on, where do I
Running
jump
jump
at? This
is it'd be
should be one for movement, right? Speed. Okay. Long jump. High jump. Make a high jump. You leap into the air.
I can't remember if it
Equal of
doubles or is that a
3
feat?
plus your strength modifier in minimum in feet. If you okay, then
So
you make the strength jump. You can do if I run at least 10 feet. You can high jump. You can jump only half the distance. Either way, each foot. Oh yeah, no. So I'm for each movement circumstances. You might allow you to roll a strength athletics check to make the jump higher than you normally can.
Okay. Yeah. So give me an athletics. It's about 7 feet above you, so it's pretty fruitless. But
18.
okay. Wow, that's shockingly good. You jump
That is
and
shockingly good.
you don't make it, but you surprise yourself. You're like, oh, I almost got it. And then you're reminded by the sounds of just crashing stone coming from the alleyway, that you ran down. That you're in a
What's
pretty dire
securing the
situation.
ladder?
Um, it looks like it's just kind of like nailed in. It's got oh God, what are the word? You know, like metal braces, where it's
If I
nailed into like a fire escape.
Okay, do I think if I like broke the braces, the ladder would come down and I could grab it and climb up?
The ladder would just fall off. It's not that it's
Okay. Okay, if
like
the ladder
yeah.
fell off, would I be able to use the ladder to reach a window?
You can think you're running out of time. This thing's getting closer.
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
Do I think that'll work?
Uh, it's worth a shot. I mean, something will
Yes,
happen.
then I would do that.
Okay.
I want to use Eldritch Blast to shoot the braces.
Okay. I rolled a hit, I guess, because it's kind of at a weird. You're having to shoot like kind of between and around the ladder.
24,
Okay.
and if I need to do both braces, then the second one is a 18.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you hit both of the braces and the wood around them, kind of like splinters, um, and cracks in a strange way. And yeah, the ladder kind of like, kind of like hanging by one of the braces, and it kind of swaying back and forth, and then as it sways outwards one time, it just falls and lands in the muddy alleyway. The ladder itself is about probably 8 feet tall, if I had to guess.
All right, I want to try to use the ladder to reach the windows.
Okay. The windows are at the same level as the fire escape, so what you would be
Oh,
doing is you could. So what would you say? Because this thing is getting closer. You can see a
so
kind of a crimson red glow coming around the corner. Um,
okay, so here's the plan.
mhm.
I prop up the ladder, and
Yep.
then I use Eldritch Blast because I make two blasts to make two handholds above the ladder
Okay.
in the wall, and
Yeah.
then I try to climb those
Okay. Start
to
doing
get up
it.
to the window.
Start doing it.
That's I do this. I do this.
Okay.
These are
So
things.
give me a dexterity saving throw.
Dex save.
Yes. Ooh.
Go back to
Oh, that's
abilities.
probably percentile.
Dex save.
Um.
14.
Uh. Oh. 14. Yeah, okay, so you kind of like you're at the top of the ladder and you go to jump and grab these two holds, and the ladder slips out from under you, so you're hanging on the side of the building, but you're in the handholds, and they feel sturdy enough. The bricks kind of give a little bit, but they kind of the way the bottom, like where the bricks, this kind of stone bricks are, they kind of come out at an angle and they almost like wedge themselves in deeper actually. So you kind of have nice little handholds, but you're hanging on the side of this building. So if you're gonna try to climb up, it's probably 5 feet to get to the bottom of or like probably like 6 feet to get to the bottom of the fire escape. Give me an athletics if you're gonna try to climb.
Let's do
You
it.
see a nose starting to very slowly kind of creep its way around the corner.
10.
10. Ooh, okay. Um, so it's about like 6 feet between your handholds and the bottom of the fire escape, which is wood, so stuff you'd be able to grab onto. Um, but the stone between there is very slick. You think you might be able to get a handhold, right? And you reach up with one hand, and you kind of get a good enough grip. Um, and you reach up with the other and grab it, and it's kind of wet, and it just So you kind of swing down and now you're hanging by one hand. Um, Give me a just a dex, I think. Probably just straight dexterity. We'll go from there. See if you can.
10.
10. Okay. Oh, that's such a neutral number. Fuck. um, I think
Sorry.
unfortunately you lose your grip with the other hand and you
Fuck!
fall. You just kind of hear that like hard like as that your fingers just slip right off the stone. And you fall and land on the ladder a good many feet. Land on your very sore back. Take 7 um,
Fuck!
bludgeoning damage.
This is how I die.
And you're just laying there as this also as you're laying there you kind of you know the thing is kind of starting to appear around the corner. um you still can't make out its details, but you just kind of see this black some form kind of just slithering around. um and as you're laying there you just get this terrible pain. It's been there the whole time while you're running, but now it's definitely like digging in. It's just cutting, tearing pain on your chest under the armor.
I try to cast healing word. That way I can still get up
No,
with my action.
don't think you have any.
I know.
Yeah, no, nothing happens. Blood is
Fuck!
starting to
Just try to get up.
pour out of your up from underneath your leather armor. Blood starting to drip out. Um,
This is not how healing works, and I try to use mending to mend my flesh together.
that's not how healing works.
It's not,
Your armor
it's
is
not how healing.
impeccable. um,
I. What's this dead end look like?
it's just it's kind of like where you think like the building is like a U shape, and you're in the crux of
What's
that
it
U,
made out
so
of?
it's just stone. It's like a
I try to blast it with Eldritch Blast
um
so much.
yeah, give it an Eldritch Blast, but you know this thing has finally made its way around the corner and it's kind of stopped moving by now and it's just watching you. You think
13 and it's 19.
19 to hit?
Yeah, those are both to hit.
Oh yeah.
13 and
Oh, you
19 to
hit.
hit the
Sorry.
wall.
Just give me damage. You're standing right at the wall. Sorry, that's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, you're like right
Uh,
at the wall, so you don't have to roll to hit.
9 and 11.
9 and 11. Too
Sorry,
soon.
9 and 2 makes 11. My
Okay.
apologies.
um. So 11 total.
11 total.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you definitely like the wall. It has this two about Eldritch Blast sized kind of craters in it, but it looks like a pretty thick stone wall, and the debris just kind of out
So,
around you and starts to fall
so
out of
that
the hole.
seems so that seems fruitless.
It certainly didn't work that time. But
Then
you
I have
kind
to.
of hear this thing like
In that case, I have to turn to it and
yeah.
try it on it.
Well, you kind of turn
Yeah,
and
I
it's
figured
just
finally to
looking
do
at
something
you.
first.
You don't see it initially. You turn and there's nothing there, and you're like, oh, and you kind of just look up a little bit, and it's almost like it's reared up, and it's looking down at you from about a 45-degree angle. Um,
I don't know if you refreshed my health in a little while, but
I did after you fell, yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just looking at you, and you just feel like this terrible, stinging, kind of sore feeling on your chest now. Um, you think maybe where that cut should have been when you woke up. And it's just kind of looking at you with that same eerie smirk. It's kind of lit from its this kind of fiery glow in its mouth. Um, and you just kind of hear Actually, not in your head. It speaks to you, just kind of just guttural, kind of from within inside, this kind of echoey noise that doesn't sound like it should be coming out of some whatever kind of serpentine creature this is. Um, you just hear, you know, you have served your purpose. And it opens its mouth, and you see that kind of fire welling up inside of it. Um,
You don't get to decide that. Only Trinith does.
Trinith means nothing to me. And it opens its mouth, and you see the fire building up inside, and it just kind of... And then you just kind of hear in the distance, and it stops. It kind of pauses, like, what? And it kind of cocks its head to the side, and you hear... And it just kind of gets yanked down. Its chin hits the ground right in front of, probably like 10 feet in front of you. The ground shakes beneath your feet as it's kind of colossal. You can definitely tell it's still kind of shapeless, but the serpentine head just like right in front of you. A little bit of fire kind of shoots out the side of its mouth as it gets slammed shut, and then it just gets kind of yanked out. Its head hits the curve of the alleyway where it turns. And it just gets kind of like pulled out of the alley when you hear it go, no! As it just gets yanked out. And in your mind, kind of this echoey voice in your mind, you just hear, run! And the wall behind you starts to crack and slowly break away. And
I run.
yeah, you run. There's a hole, kind of like a perfect person-shaped hole forms in this wall out of this kind of like the same glass-like glass-like crack in this wall, and it just kind of leads into darkness. And so you just kind of run into this darkness, and as you pass through the stone wall, you just kind of get enveloped in this like quietness.
Did the voice sound like the way you said it?
Yes.
But echoey?
Although I might have done it wrong. Tell me what you're thinking.
Sounds like Dr. Clockwork's
It
voice.
it was kind of like his voice, but deeper is a better way to think.
Okay.
It's kind of my bad. Yeah, it's like, man, maybe could have been him, but it didn't sound a whole lot like him.
Oh, alright then.
Yeah. It's not a voice you recognized.
So now I'm just back in a void.
Yeah, you're kind of in the same void. Think of it like when you woke up from the dream. So you're in this black void, but now kind of just above the horizon, the sky kind of takes this green, and you can still see the mist and with the green glow in it, but you're kind of in this just empty space of that.
I kind of say out loud. I don't know if I liked it better or worse with the town. At least there was a town, but there was the thing. This is kind of just nothing.
So yeah, your voice definitely does kind of carry on an echo like that. And you almost hear it bouncing off of kind of like crystalline glass something, it's kind of this like ringing, instead of just like nothing, it's like nothing, just very eerie.
And the one question I've been wanting to not say this whole time. Is this death? Am I dead? What purgatory is this?
Yeah, all of your words just kind of echo into that nothingness, that ringing nothingness, and you kind of take a moment to pause.
I take just a moment to pause, and I just kind of scream out, "Something answer me!"
In front of you, you kind of scream that and, stop and let it ring out into nothing, and then you just kind of hear this, like, it's kind of like circles around your head and kind of goes in front of you. It's that same ringing, kind of resonating, kind of like a marble rolling around a glass bowl. just kind of this odd, eerie kind of noise, and it's centralized in front of you, like it was in that first dream.
What do you want?
No response.
What do I possibly have to give you? Where are we? What is this? This is less so answering me and more putting in a annoying buzzing in my face.
That's all you get. You're getting that ringing coming from in front of you.
I try to touch it.
Yeah, no, it's just a noise. There's nothing much. When you reach your arm out, it moves further in front of you.
Yeah. I speak in like Sylvan. I'm like, is it the language?
No, nothing.
Elvish. I can do this one too. Orcish. It's like, how about this one?
No.
The fuck was the tentacle thing? The fuck saved me? The fuck am I? That's it. I'm walking. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I start walking away from it.
Away from it. Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of disappears. You have this feeling like it's in the same place
I'm
as it
leaving
was.
and it's staying the same.
Yeah. So you kind of feel it as it goes away, and you. Yeah, that's really it. You just kind of leave it, this centralized ringing, just kind of into the distance as you walk, kind of in this like empty plain, essentially. And you're just gonna walk and keep walking.
I walk for a little while, like, no, I don't need it. I don't need it. It's just fucking noise.
Yeah. Eventually, probably right around when I imagine you're like, okay, I'll stop walking. You kick something on the ground. You kind of hear the noise of like a rock scattering across the ground.
Ooh! I follow the noise.
Of the rock?
So that was a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of run over to where it sounds like it might have landed, and are you like searching for it?
Yeah, I cast light on my hand.
Okay. Yeah, your
that
hand
I might
lights
not
up.
have.
No, you have a hand, and you can see
Okay.
yourself now because it's like you're lit by this fog.
Yeah.
I'd say the only thing is it feels just kind of weird and dreamy. It's kind of like before, where like you can see yourself moving, but it's more like you think about putting your hand in front of you, and your hand's just in front of you. It's like, oh.
Right. The last time I did that, like, I didn't have a drum set. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah, but you cast light on your hand lights up, and it just doesn't help a whole lot. You just kind of give the fog like a top light.
I used that hand to search too.
Okay, yeah, so you can kind of see your hand moving around in this mist. And it's more feeling around, but you do kind of, it's very, very dense once you get even your lit hand into it. It's more like, yeah, I mean, I'd imagine it'd be like reaching into like a mini fridge of dry ice. You can see it,
every
yeah.
once in a while just because.
It has no effect.
I know, just he feels better doing it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's like slightly stress relieving.
Sorry about that phone call.
No problem. Yeah, so you kind of it's more like feeling around. You've got this, you're lighting up the fog very well, but it's just about like that green light does, except it's just kind of a white light.
Alright, then I think for a second. I'm like, all right, I think I have the stone in my hand.
Well, I mean, you do bump into the stone, right? As you're thinking.
Yeah,
about,
alright, cool.
Yeah, so you kind of do like. You kind of catch it with the side of the hand. You're just like ha, like spider, like grab it. So yeah, you've got what feels like a little rock in your hand.
I pick it up and like look at it.
It just looks like a rock. It's about it's just smaller than like baseball size, maybe like avocado sized.
I turn
Um,
around to where the ringing was, and I go, "See, I don't need you. I found something."
there is no ringing anymore. You've escaped the
Oh, I
ringing.
know, oh, I know, but I turn around to where it was,
Hmm.
and I yell at it because I
Yeah.
don't need it. I have my rock, not a
Hmm.
boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock. Yeah. So you're holding. The more you kind of study it, it looks like it was sheared off of something larger. Maybe it's a piece of rubble or debris. This rock.
Okay. Um, I keep like walking around then, try to see if I can figure out what it broke off of. I do like a spiral out pattern.
Yeah. So eventually you kick another rock, and this one doesn't move. It's much heavier. It's kind of like
Ah!
kicking, like, oh fuck. Yeah, but there's something beneath the mist.
I step on it.
You are now standing about 2 feet taller, and you're balancing on one leg on top of a rock.
All right. I get down and I
Okay.
feel around the whole rock.
You kick a smew faller rocks.
Shitty Fowler
A
rocks.
smew
All
faller,
right.
a few smaller rocks that have settled around it, but you do notice as you're kind of kicking around, the ground does feel a little more like cobblestone. I think is a good way to put it.
Huh. I want to cast light on one of the few smaller rocks. Instead of my hand now.
Interesting. Yeah, so there's just a little tiny like what's a good comparison size? Like those like really big D20s that you can buy?
Mm,
It's like one of those.
yeah.
It's like kind
Okay.
of perfect, like it's not like a big, but it fits in your hand nicely. Yeah, just like one of those, just a little kind of um asymmetrical shaped rock.
And I want to pick that little rock up, and I want to toss it in the direction I was walking when I kicked this.
Hmm.
See if I can light up a farther away area or whatever it is.
You see this rock you throw it an okay amount. You're maybe a little disappointed, like, oh, I wish I could throw it. Feel like I
I
could
wish I
throw
could
it
throw
farther.
good.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I was strong. So you do, but you get it. Probably a good, I don't know, 30 feet away from you. Um, it's really all in the trajectory, you think, and yeah, you just kind of see as this light passes through, and it does momentarily pass something that looks like a kind of like a broken stone wall. It's very quick as it just kind of like past it.
I
Um,
want to try to remember where that spot
yeah,
was and go to it.
yeah. So you walk, you
With
kind of
still
just
with
you.
that first rock.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh, so you're still holding that rock.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. You've got that rock in your hand. Um,
that's my rock
you're
now.
holding this rock.
To Rin right now, this rock proves that he doesn't need the ringing to find
I
things.
see.
And this
Um,
is like his sanity in his hand
okay.
right now.
Um, yeah. So you walk. You're walking just really straight in the direction of the light rock because it's the same direction. So you're just walking towards it. Um, and yeah, you kind of come across. You can see just the bottom of what looks like a collapsed stone wall, kind of peeking out from the bottom of the fog. And as you get closer, it actually like the surrounding light encapsulates it a little more. So it's almost like where you're going, you notice, gets a little brighter when you walk there, if that makes sense.
It
Um,
does.
so yeah, you approach when you're about 10 feet away. You see a probably like 8 foot tall, kind of like crumbled wall of rock. Um, this is an interesting question. Where does Ren think this might be? What imagery does this evoke? This wall.
A collapsed, even more rundown version of Blackbriar, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know, some kind of dilapidated ancient city, or like a broken down Blackbriar. So it's either that first place he showed up,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah.
or like Blackbriar in the future once whatever the fuck's gonna happen happens.
Okay.
Because Rin it works like Mark's brain a lot of the time when it comes to this shit,
Yeah.
which is like I have like 8 different ideas, but Rin only has like 3.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna give you two numbers. One of them is basically assign the first place to one of the numbers. You know, make the first place 1 or 2, and the in Blackbriar the other number.
Okay.
And let me know. Let me know when. Like, tell me
I
when
have
once you.
those.
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, if so on a 4-sided die, you said 1 and 2, right?
Yeah. 1 and 2.
And so yeah, Blackbriar is 1 and 2 in the first. Actually, no, the first place is 1 and 2, and Blackbriar is 3 and 4.
Okay. 3 and 4. Got it. Sorry. Bear with me. Okay. So as you're looking at this wall, you kind of hear.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry.
Yep. No problem. Give me time to think about how to fucking describe this.
How about you? I give you like 10 more minutes to think about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry, my dad needs my help again.
That's okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yep.
I am back.
Oh, welcome back.
Thank you.
Ah, yes. This shouldn't go on for a whole lot longer. In fact, it's gone on for longer than I thought it would, but
Don't they always?
oh yes, that's just how D&D works. Anyways, so, you had found an old broken wall. Um, did anything else happen, or was it just that?
Uh, found an old broken wall.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's where we ended up. I'm
Oh,
trying to remember
yeah.
if
Then
I
we
said that there was a
then you
sound or
rolled.
not. Yeah.
You rolled something.
Did I
And
say
that's
there was a sound in the distance or anything? I'm
no.
gonna assume not. Okay. So yeah, you just kind of hear, like as you're looking at this wall, you kind of it occurs to you like, oh, this looks kind of familiar, maybe. And then you hear a kind of like cracking noise that kind of spans across, kind of in a large radius circle around you. Um, just kind of in the distance, kind of, um, coming from behind you primarily.
I turn.
Okay. Yeah, it's just darkness.
Okay.
Okay.
Um, I don't know.
You hear that ringing kind of in the
I don't need it.
distance.
I don't need the ringing. I
You hear
don't
that
need
ringing
you.
just like kind of.
Damn it! I walk away from the ringing.
So you turn around and walk right into a dilapidated stone wall.
I
Um,
go walk around the wall and try to find a door.
you walk around the
I'm gonna
wall,
hide.
and you're just going straight.
Yeah.
Uh, Funny enough, you walk into a clearing in the fog. Um, so the fog kind of ends in this giant ring, kind of like a stone courtyard of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of a big stone circle. It's really the best way to put it. And you do kind of hear that ringing is starting to centralize behind you.
I guess I'll go to the middle of the circle.
Okay. So you kind of walk away from this ringing. um, and it's definitely like following you now, if that makes sense. So you kind of like start walking into the middle of the circle, and it's kind of like coming after you almost. And as you're about to step into the middle of the circle, I need you to give me a dexterity save.
Okay.
A dexterity save. A save
15.
throw to stay. Okay, that works well enough. So the stones that kind of formulate this courtyard fall from underneath your feet. Not quite,
Oh
just
fuck.
before the middle. Um, in fact, you kind of recognize this courtyard from a place you visited earlier in the last couple of days of your life.
Oh, and where there was a big ass fucking hole.
Uh, it looks about like that, yeah. Um, about exactly like that, except this one doesn't have a couple of like trees sprouting out of it. It's the only difference.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, you fall and you kind of catch yourself on the side. Like you don't just fall straight in. You catch the side like some of the bricks, but then they start kind of pulling out of the ground, and you do kind of start to slip and you fall uh, backwards into this hole. Except this time, you don't think you fall the amount that same distance um, that you were kind of risen out of when Trinith found you in the hole. You fall, and you kind of prematurely just like smack land on this kind of feels like a kind of oddly angled. It's like a slight angle. Your feet are kind of up above your head a little bit on the ground, and your head's down on this kind of stone. You don't take any damage,
Okay.
but you definitely kind of like poof, on this like stone uh, structure of sorts. It's quite dark in this room. Quite dark in this room.
Cast light on my hand.
It kind of, it like, your hand is glowing for sure, but it doesn't appear to be casting a light, if that makes sense. Like your hand's glowing and it maybe casts a light like a couple of inches off your hand, but beyond that, it's not
So
doing
it's like
much.
magical darkness.
It's less magical darkness and more like something's affecting your light. Like your light just seems like it's not glowing as bright. It's kind of like when a flashlight is running out of battery
Ah.
and there's a light coming from it, but it's like not actually enough to do anything. Yeah.
Oh no,
And
I'm running low on batteries.
you do feel very, very weak. Like you're losing blood because you are. There's blood kind of dripping out of your leather armor. And you kind of this pain is kind of continuously just kind of making very slowly making its way across your chest, and eventually you do almost feel it kind of like kind of stop. But you do have this lingering kind of cut feeling on your across your chest from the like top of your left collarbone kind of down across your torso. Yeah. So you're laying down right now. Do you want
Yeah, I get up.
to? Okay. You get up and you appear to be. There's a very that kind of same just very dull light kind of just surrounding you. Um, you'd appear to be on some sort of curved bridge. Like you're in that large circular room. You think you can't. The light does not quite reach the ceiling, but it kind of hits the back wall a little bit. And it appears as if there's like a bridge that kind of arcs up and goes across the middle of the room, and you're kind of right on the start of the bridge, so it's a relatively steep angle.
Guess I try to cross the bridge.
Okay, so you pick yourself up, kind of stand up, and you start kind of slowly walking across this bridge. You can only see like a couple of feet in front of you, and the bridge itself is not incredibly narrow. You'd think maybe 5.5, 6 feet across. Um, so I imagine you're kind of like slowly making your way up
Yeah.
this bridge. Um, and a kind of ping of light catches your eye at what you could imagine to be the apex of the bridge. And are you there? I think
Uh-huh.
okay, just double checking. I heard your mic do its thing. um,
I got cookies. I didn't want you in your face.
okay. Um, yeah, you just a kind of ping of green light, kind of like I'm at like the light coming out of the fog, but incredibly pure, almost like it's a source of the light. Like it looks like that light is directly coming from something. It's very pastel green, um, kind of jade green, like light, kind of like in front of you.
I approach it.
You start to approach it. You kind of
Yeah.
inch closer and closer to what you imagine to be the apex of the bridge. And as you get closer, this light kind of grows and grows, and it starts to spread and kind of wrap around itself. And as you get about probably what you imagine to be like 15 feet away from whatever the middle of this bridge is, the kind of the apex of this curved bridge, you it's kind of like you start this light is kind of starting to circulate through what looks like a tree, a very windy, twisty tree, and it's made of this weird material that you can't quite place. It looks solid, but it's almost like translucent, and it's green, that very kind of like pastel green, and every now and then as the light kind of like runs through it, almost like it's circulating throughout this tree, kind of like pinging around like a nervous system. You get a glimpse of like these kind of like thick black specks of sorts, kind of like ingrained or kind of like inside of this odd green material. And as you approach, eventually this light starts circulating so fast that it is illuminating what for sure is this kind of large tree, the roots of which become more solid and dark and almost like rock as they wrap around this bridge. It's lighting up the entire room by now. You can see this green glow, this leafless tree kind of stretches and twists around itself, and there's this kind of green glow casting from it that lights up this entirely large, similar, or visually similar dome-shaped room that you recognize, except the difference being that there's a bridge, and in fact, um, perpendicular to the bridge you're on, a bridge that runs below it at an equal curve. So you've kind of got this crisscross of one bridge going over top, one bridge kind of circling down below. Um, and as you kind of notice that, you notice that the tree has that exact same design in the middle of the tree and the branch, or the main trunk of the tree. It kind of twists, one side kind of twists around the back, one side twists over top that. If you look at your title card, it's kind of hard to tell because it's stylized, but it's basically that's the tree you're looking at, with this weird kind of
I've
over.
been looking at this the
Yeah.
whole time you've been describing
Okay.
it.
Yeah. It's that basically, but instead of the red, it's just that green basically of the text, and it's glowing. It's like this glass-like translucent kind of weird material, and as you get closer and closer to it, you're about 10 feet away now. It just kind of like, and the whole thing just erupts in this bright light as this kind of pulse runs from the trunk, all the way up to the tips, um, as it kind of lights up very magnificently and bright, and then it just kind of slowly starts to fade until it's still illuminating the room, but it's not glowing that much itself anymore.
I take a dagger from my hip
Mm-hmm.
and I tap it.
Yeah, it makes a very it's a weird sound. So you got obviously a metal blade,
Mhm.
and you're tapping with this like start, and it kind of makes this like. It's like you hit a rubber surface at first, almost. It's very dull, and this dull thud, and then it kind of echoes and cascades through the tree as a kind of ringing noise.
But it's definitely solid though. My knife's not like passing
Yeah,
into it. It's not
it's a
like a
solid.
gelatinous.
No, it's definitely solidified, whatever it is. Imagine like
I put the
sap, but kind of green and translucent, like a pastel kind of green.
I put the knife away and I touch it.
You touch it, and as your hand gets closer, you kind of feel this energy radiating off of it. And yeah, your hand very slowly just kind of makes contact with it, and you feel this rush of energy. You kind of tense up. Um, Not at all dissimilar, in fact, quite identical to the time you touched the doorknob in that dream sequence. This kind of rush of energy just starts surging through your body, and you kind of tense up, and you got your hand on this tree. You feel like you can't take it off. Um,
Like electricity.
yeah, kind of like electricity, but not like feels more. Imagine kind of like more like a spiritual energy instead of like a legitimate energy, like electricity energy. Just kind of this, as you're touching it, you kind of get this like circulatory, like resonance kind of feeling, just coming in waves through your body. Um, and suddenly, that the ringing in your ears just kind of like it escalates and escalates and escalates. It's painful, like it was that time.
Escalator.
Whoa! Fuck yeah! Yeah, it's starting to become painful. This ringing in your ears, it's building and building again. And then it just stops, and your
I
hand
was
kind
gonna say
of
I want
peels
to
off
hold
the
on
tree.
for
Yeah,
as long as I can.
it just kind of stops, and your hand kind of peels off the tree, just defuncto. You're not sure if you did it voluntarily or what, but your kind of hand just like peels off this tree. Um, and then, as you're kind of standing here, you feel a hand kind of just come around your face and grab your mouth, and then another press a blade up to your throat, and you just kind of hear whispered in your ear, "Thank you for your service." It just drags the blade across your throat, cutting very deeply, very deeply. You feel the stinging of that pain the blood filling your throat, um, right around where your voice box is. And as you kind of feel the energy, the life go out of your body, you collapse to the floor. Um, there's a very shrouded figure in dark robes stood above you. Um, you don't see a face, but you just hear this kind of
I wanna focus on the voice as hard as I can. I wanna remember it.
hmm
I wanna try to remember it, and then once I wake up from whatever this is,
Yeah.
if I'm not dead or wherever extra planet or place I'm gonna go to next, I wanna remember that voice and see if I know it already. If I don't, I'm gonna find out who has it.
Yeah. You just hear that laugh, and then kind of darkness surrounds you again, once again, and you're kind of this area you're in. It's almost like you're closing your eyes, but you're keeping your eyes open intentionally. You know, you're like, but this kind of darkness just sets in around everything. Um, and as you're laying there, you feel the stinging in your throat and this blood, and you're finding it hard to breathe. The blood is starting to fill your throat. You hear footsteps approaching you from your feet where you're laying, um, and you kind of this blurry figure, almost like you're kind of your eyes are half open, kind of very small in stature, kind of comes out of the darkness, and it's the kid, and he looks very calm, as he did in the times you saw him before this. And he reaches out his hand and he says, once again, the same thing he said the last couple of times. He says, "Make it count." And he reaches out his hand towards you.
I grab it.
Okay. You raise a very shaky, weak, bloody arm now as you're holding your throat probably. And you take his hand, and the second you take his hand, you feel this that same energy just rush through you, and the ringing kind of, and you wake up. You open your eyes, and you are over Thogak's shoulder, and Clockwork is removing a very weak hand from you, and you're back in the tunnel with Thogak. He's carrying you, and Clockwork has just obviously done something to heal you. Over, yeah, and you cannot speak. That's right. You have lost your voice. And that's where we will end your solo session.
Yay!
Back in with the main session. Whew, yeah, that ran longer than I thought it would. Even without the breaks, that would have been like a normal length session. Jesus.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
by the
no,
way.
it's fine.
Thanks.
It didn't hurt really, just because I got to think a moment. Double. It's always nice to have moments to like, okay, I know what I'm about to do, but let's think about it for a second. Yeah.
I hope I didn't derail or
No.
anything.
The idea is that you can't.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, thoughts, opinions. It's a little
Fucking
weird.
make what count?
Make it count.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know. That's up to you to decide right now. At the moment.
That was good. That was fun.
Yay. You've gotten the longest solo session by far, or the like mid campaign solo sessions. Everyone like think Keegan's and Kelsey's were like 30 minutes respectively. So,
Jeez.
this was gonna happen either way, but the fact that your character died the last session, is the reason it was this long. Because I adapted a different scenario to the pre-existing idea I had for your solo session, so it was almost like a combination of two. But yeah, it's a bit weird because we did go a little bit longer in the main campaign, but I figure even if your character did experience these things, it's not like you can tell people about them. So now, and you were kind of in and out of consciousness that the rest of the session. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of imagine he was just processing
Hmm.
most of that anyway. That's why he didn't do much, and then got knocked out from alcohol,
Yeah.
and then he woke up
Then
just
from
to find
pain.
out that there was a fucking and pain.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then he woke up to find a ring box. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll pick up next session on Tuesday, hopefully. Um I we might backtrack a little bit since there is this new knowledge. I intentionally didn't describe a whole lot about Ren, what his immediate reaction to this might have been. That's because I didn't know what would happen in the solo session. So I think next session we're gonna backtrack a little bit to before the box, like just before the box was opened. Um, you are back to 1 HP, by the way, but that won't really matter because you'll get that back at the start of next session. So um, now you can give yourself sh- a short rest. I think it hadn't quite been enough time in the main session to be a long rest yet.
Okay. I will do a short rest.
And you can give yourself max HP as well.
Oh,
Because
really?
yeah, because Clockwork has been healing you, while Tarathiel was trying to unlock the box. He's been healing you. So yeah, but that's where we'll pick up. I think the next session with him kind of just finishing
Do
healing
I
you and
did I
assessing
actually
you.
spend that spell slot?
Yeah, you don't seem to have it.
Okay. Alrighty.
Okay. Well, I oh let me end the stream.